Good morning, my lovely, beautiful humans. Welcome to the Crochet Cakes YouTube channel 2025 edition. It is time to plan our crochet year. But honestly, before we even get to that, we need to do a reset. We need to clear out my old recording devices. We need to clear out SD cards. We need to clear out some whips, and we also need to clear out the office. So let's do that so we can dive properly into our crochet plans for 2025. This is the current state of the office. Yes, I use it as a laundry room, but let's focus on the mess. So, ironing board needs to go. Messy yarn on top. Recording area, just a mess. And then my desk, also just a mess of everything. So it's not too bad. The plan is set a timer for 30 minutes and see how much we can achieve. I'm gonna focus those 30 minutes on my desk properly because I do wanna get rid of anything that I know that I will not be using, but also making space for the things that I will be using in my desk, like my iPad, my phone, camera, all that good stuff. Really, instead of chatting about it, I should be working, so after 30 minutes, we more or less have a clean office. The ironing board is still here, but less messy. This sewing mess corner will just have to be dealt with at another time. But let's focus on my desk. It's much more organized. Which means it's time to go through and delete all the old content on my SD cards and my phone. After completing this little bit of admin reset, it's time to do a little bit of goal setting and paper crafting. Unlike last year, I haven't begun 2025 full steam ahead, as in I have not planned out what I want to do January, February, and even the beginning of March. No, instead this year we're actually going to actively take the time to set out our goals and our vision boards for the month ahead together. I'm going to start with my undated planner. I found this one broken at Marshall's, but it was $5, so I wasn't leaving it because this moleskin one runs for $30. I have already set out a couple of intentions, but we're going to be working on some YouTube goals together. First up, I want to actually, have a surface to write in. So we're going to begin by covering the 2023-2024 page of the calendars because we don't those years are gone, okay? We can remember them fondly, but they're gone. Now, I find this paper a little bit too bright, so instead I'm going to go with this packaging paper that Marshall's gives you when you buy delicate things, and perhaps spice it up with some cardstock. Why do stores place the price sticker right on top of the cardstock you want to use? Can't they do it in a little innocuous corner, like just put a little red dot on it? Before I sat down with you all to curate my YouTube goals, I had actually already set goals for different areas of my life. So, for example, body and mind, personal goals, interpersonal goals, and I'll put some of them on the screen so you have an idea of what I'm talking about. But the point is that I'm not going to be adhering to these like all the time. These are just guidelines, things that I want to keep in mind as I move through the year. My numbers could definitely use some work, but the point is we're now ready to write our YouTube goals for the year and discuss them. Now that the reset is well underway, we've cleared the SD cards, we've more or less cleared the office because trust me, I think there's a lot of things that we can clear out from here, but I just wanted to do a little start of it so that I'm more motivated to create in my creative space instead of just heading out of my creative space and doing stuff elsewhere. Right. The first thing I want to tell you is that please don't feel that because I'm doing this organizing of my work life, my crafty life, or because I'm setting all these goals for myself that you have to do this. You don't have to do any of these crafty intentions if you don't want to. You don't have to set goals for yourself if you don't want to. I think the year might be hard enough without putting this additional pressure on ourselves that we need to meet certain ends. No, these are all very loose goals that I'm setting for myself. They're more like guidelines, really, of this is where I would like to head in the year 2025. So again, don't feel pressure to do as I'm doing, but if you feel a little bit of curiosity, then go ahead and join me and we can chat about what our crafty plans are for the year 2025. In terms of crochet cakes in general, so the YouTube channel, Instagram, Pinterest, everywhere where I'm crochet cakes, I plan to continue designing. So far, I have 3 ideas for crochet patterns, and I actually started one of those ideas. So they're all garments actually, and the first one is a vest. I want to create like a proper hobbity type vest. The second one is going to be a summer top, and the third one is going to be a summer top as well. But this third one really should have been number 1 because it's the one that I've actually started. So let's bring my tray over. In this tray, we have this garment that I'm holding up right now, and if you're looking at it from the screen, you can see that we have a combination of granny squares and granny triangles. If you watch my granny square skirt, Christmas tree skirt, this was definitely inspired by it because I just thought, what if we continue adding squares and triangles all the way around? Would we be able to create a circular yoke garment? And the idea is, well, so far it's looking quite good. We shall have to get to the bottom of this project to actually see if the idea is going to be working. But I have hope. I'm confident that it will. I say that I have confidence, but really as I'm working on it, I'm like, do I really want to make this? And I don't know where the lack of enthusiasm for the project came from, because when I sat down to write all the idea for this, I was really, really excited. And I think a part of me still is. The other part of me is probably just being very cautious of, well, this is a terrible idea. But, you know, imposter Clarissa can just shove herself into a corner and be quiet while I deal with my creativity. For this project, we're going to be working with granny squares, granny triangles, granny stitches. Now, for the granny squares, I played around with the idea of using several of my favorite granny squares, like the Sunburst granny square, and I think there's one called the Daisy granny square. But then I thought, what if we just play around and combine the two? What can we create? So that's what I did here. I semi-created a granny square, and the one that we're going to be using for the pattern is actually one round short of the one that I originally designed. And I really do miss that round that I took out because it just worked better with the design if I didn't add that last round. But anyway, we're gonna be working granny squares, granny triangles, and granny stitches. And as you can see, it's gonna be a circular yoke, so we're working it top down. In terms of yarn, we're gonna be using 4 different colors, but really these, gosh, everybody just decided to drive by today, huh? These colors we only need small amounts of. I have it all weighed and written out in my notes for the pattern, but so far all these are from the salvage range from We Crochet. So it is a combination of recycled cotton and acrylic. They say it's a sport weight yarn, which fair, it is a little bit thinner than a fingering weight, but it is not exactly sport weight. So it's going to be one of those patterns that when I'm designing and you want to substitute yarns, really pay attention to the yardage meterage that you see written on the label and not the definition of sport weight or fingering weight. Okay, so here I have like a lemony yellow in the middle, which is called Thrift Flip, if I'm not mistaken. Then we go to the pink one, which is Library Card, and then the denim blue is called Rain Barrel. So that leaves the main color for our project, which is called Less is More. And it's a creamy gray color, and it just plays off, all the colors play off each other really, really well. And I'm excited for this pattern. I think it's just, my excitement will be more excited. You know, my excitement will be exciting when I'm past the yoke and I've split for the sleeves and I can see, yes, I like how this is fitting, or if not, I can modify the yoke a little bit so it fits better. Once we're there, I think my excitement for it will return. It's just going to be one of those patterns where I have to make it multiple times to make sure that I am pleased with the results and pleased with the product that we're going to be putting out there. So that is design number 1, in the sense that I think it's the one that I'm going to release first because it's the one that I've actually started and mapped out. I do need to grade it, but you know, there's always something. Right, so in terms of the pattern designing, that is all that I have come up with now, barring the 2 socks that I plan to re-release because I got the rights back to them years ago and I just never sat down to reformat it, crochet another sock so that I can create a proper tutorial for them and include those tutorials in the paid for PDFs patterns. Because I don't know if you know this or remember, but most of my crochet patterns that you can purchase off Ravelry, they include a link for a tutorial. And yes, it's only included in the paid for PDF pattern. And I guess mentioning tutorials that will be recorded, we can connect with the plans for this here YouTube channel. Now, I plan on, of course, creating more crochet content. So far, I have some plans for 2 vlogs in which we start a garment and then we finish it, or we start a project and we finish it completely in one vlog. I think those are fun, and from your comment, you really connect with those types of vlogs, and I'm very happy to keep making them and sharing them with you. The first one up is going to be something that should have been finished, or I had planned to finish it in December, because we can't shame ourselves into being better people, okay? So we can take it slow. And it is a hobbity type vest. This yarn is Clarissa. This vest is meant to be a corset style vest that we start working from the panel, the cable panel in the middle, and then we add on either side to then seam up at the back. And it is meant to have a lot of negative ease, so it fits a bit of that corset style. Now, in order to play off, or actually to make the negative ease not be so negative, I have decided to work this pattern up in Yakish. Yakish is a We Crochet yarn, and I think it's beautiful. It is a blend of wool that includes about 10% yak, I think, and it is very buttery and soft. If you have the curiosity for this, I highly encourage you to try this yarn. So far, I haven't washed it, so I can't speak to its washing, but it frogs very well, and it just, the feel of it as you crochet is so beautiful. And because it has yak and alpaca in it, I believe it's gonna have very, very nice stretch. It's also warm because, again, we've got yak and alpaca, and I don't know, I just absolutely love this yarn. Added to all those qualities, I specifically also love that it is sport weight yarn. I believe I've mentioned it before, but I do have a love of sport weight yarns more than fingering weight or even DK weight yarn. When I'm designing a crochet pattern, if I find a yarn that I feel really speaks to the garment or project that I'm making and it is sport weight, I consider that a win-win. And of course, we also need to take into account the color ranges, but you know, that's that. You always have to think about that. Right, so that is the first vlog where we're going to be completing an item together that I hope to release sometime in January. If we're being very optimistic, I would say next week. But since I haven't actually picked up this project since November, I'm going to say the optimism is delusional. Yeah, so possibly this will be out in the third week of January. So if we're looking at a calendar, this Saturday is the 4th. That makes next week the 10th. Close, the 11th. You know what? That seems like a reasonable amount of time. Tentative date for this first vlog of the year, the 11th. In addition to the vlogs, I am planning a series of tutorials as well. The first tutorial will be for that flower popcorn granny square that I want to share with you. And then the second one will probably be decreasing in granny stitches. I've been asked about that before when we did it in the granny stitch raglan top, and I do want to get back to that and make a clearer tutorial for everyone that is interested in that. So these are the little things that I've planned to be working on in January and February. I do want to say that I really wanted to release a special project for Valentine's Day, like a video or a tutorial, but again, that is something that I should have started possibly in December. And in December, as I told you in the previous video, I just worked really hard on getting my husband's sweater finished, and we're almost there. I think I told you he wants a bit of longer sleeves, which is great because that means I will have 0 yarn left over from the one that I bought for this. So other plans that I do have that kind of involve yarny content, I want to have a stash clear out. I don't know when I'm going to be doing it. I don't know what yarns I'm going to be including, but I do want to have a stash clear out. So I thought it would be fun if we did a video together about talking through the yarns that I have in my stash, how I organize them, and then maybe in that same video do a destash or either post my destash on Etsy. The other thing that we can do is that I can upload these yarns to Ravelry in my stash section, and then if you're interested you can purchase them from Ravelry. I don't know, I just think Etsy might be the better option for that, but you never know. As I said in the very beginning of this section, all these ideas for content, for crochet patterns, for everything, they are subject to change, but these are the ones that I really, really, really want to try my hardest to get out to you in 2025, because number one, I'm excited about them, and number two, they've been on my mind for a while. And in terms of the Hobbit vest, for example, it's been on my mind for about 3 years and I have yet to sit down and design it. But we're making more progress already because I already have a stitch combination in mind and a construction idea. I just need to find the actual vest that I bought to guide my construction, which I really don't know what I did with it. I placed it in, a place where it would be easy to find and accessible. And of course, it's now grown legs and disappeared and gone out into the ether. I do hope it makes its way back to me at some point though. that is all the content that I have to share with you today. Do let me know what projects or tutorials or videos you're excited for me to get out, and do let me know if you have any crafty plans whatsoever. You don't have to. Again, I'm just curious. I'm a bit nosy like that. And I do love sharing our passion for crochet in the comment section, because then it's not just me chatting to the camera, but I don't mind. I have a, you know, I know I gabber on a lot. Is that what the British say? What word do you use to say talking a lot? Yap? Gabber? Waffle? That'll be fun. I will see you in my next video. I'm very, very excited to have you here for 2025. And again, do let me know what you are looking forward to this year. Bye.